Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hakinawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hakinawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hakinawa, Yahweh, Achad. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahasur Chahakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. As a high spirit winning lawyer, and today I want to go into a walk and talk. A walk and talk. And this style of teaching comes from the beloved Elder Apostle Gabar, all right, from the head camp. Okay, I remember the original walk and talk videos. I'm honored in saying that. All right, and Shalom, brothers and sisters who are tuning in to this live stream. Shalom, Romans 8:18, spiritual comeback. All right, and I had something on my spirit. All right, as I was leaving the store a few minutes ago. I was like, man, Esau, starting with Cain, which is Cain coming back in the reincarnation is Esau, right? He was the original lowlife. Now, one second, let me put my phone on silent. Now, in order to understand what it means or the importance of saying that he was the original lowlife, all right, there was a different standard of living during the time of Adam. There was a different standard of living during the kingdom of Israel. All right, you have to understand the laws of shit. Something just hit me on the back of my shoulder. The laws of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All right, the laws of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai was a standard on earth. That was a standard. All right. But when it comes to the kingdom of Israel, there was a standard within the kingdom of Israel. All right. Your integrity, your obeisance to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All right. The other nations had their way, but as far as the sons of Adam, let me rephrase that. As far as the sons of Adam, the laws was the way. Your integrity, your adhesiveness, your dedication to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Okay? You see? That was the concept, man. Even when you go into the ways of our forefather, it goes into class, having class and etiquette and respect, having conduct. All right? So when it comes to the time of the garden, Cain was the first hating ass nigga. All right, I'm not being funny, but Cain was the first hating ass nigga. All right? He was the first unaliver. Okay? He was the first degenerate, man. All right? Hating ass nigga, man. But who was Cain coming back? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Starting with these Machiavellian type empires like the Grecian Empire, all right, the Roman Empire, all right, America, the American way, the bad boy. Because what is America like? The bad boy. Where does it say that in the scriptures? All right? And I'm drinking a tea, man. You know what I mean? If you see me do this, it's a tea. All right? This is my first time getting it. It's called Walker Brothers. Walker Brothers. It's like a kombucha. Okay? But it actually tastes like beer a little bit because it's fermented tea, fermented herbs and stuff, But long story short, Cain was the first degenerate, man. That's the fucking low life, man. To envy the virtue of your brother, and that you envy that and you unalive him, that's a low life. But now, what do we have a kingdom full of? Low life. What does it say in the scripture? Psalms 12:8, I believe. The wicked walketh on every side when the vilest men are exalted. It tells you in Sirach 10, roughly paraphrasing, as the king, so are his people, so are his subjects. So the real king of Babylon ultimately are the elites, man. And they're full of lowlights, they're full of Satanists, they're full of scum, they're full of PDF files. All right, they're full of scammers. They're full of just ratty people, like rats, possum-like people, lowlifes, rodent-spirited people, And what does this kingdom celebrate? It celebrates whores, which is a fucking lowlife. Only in the Western realm is a whore celebrated. Why would you celebrate something that if replicated, it'll destroy society? Whoredom destroys society. Only in the Western world is a drug dealer celebrated, a scammer. If everybody was scammers, the economy would collapse. All right? Adultery, oh man, it is a cancer of society. But the low lives are celebrated because guess who runs the world? A low life. All right, we had something called a moral compass, a moral code back in the ancient world, man. Even when it comes to just civil matters, man, moral matters, going to the book of Sirach, book of Proverbs. Proverbs is how our people should conduct ourselves on this planet Earth. It goes into further depth than the laws of King Masha. You see? Okay. All right, but Cain was the first lowlife, man, and we have to understand the dark nations kicked this man, all right, from amongst them. They pushed him out into the Caucasus, man. All right, he was pushed out into the Caucasus, man. All right, and we civilized Esau, man. All right, how did we civilize him? We gave him, all right, we taught him how to speak. All right, we civilized him, man. All right, he was in Europe. All right, as a very brute, base, unevolved man. All right, when Jake was ruling Europe, and that's why he calls it the Dark Ages, man. But beyond his habitation, all right, your habitation, your dwelling is an extension of your spirit. All right, he has a base nature. I was even going into the history some years ago of steak tartare, right? Like, why does Esau like his steak, all red and bloody and undone? But it goes back to the Khazars, because the Khazars were like traveling horsemen. They were like tribesmen. All right, they were consisting of men that traveled a lot on horse, and their little go-to snack was their bloody meat, their raw meat, man. But it's in their nature. It's in their nature, man. All right. They said, by thy sword shall thou rule. So violence is in his nature, man. Warfare is in his nature, man. All right. Esau gravitates to that blood, man. He loves warfare, man. All right. He loves bloodshed. Okay. He has the art of deception down to a science. Why? Because he's a scammer. He's a lowlife, man. He's a degenerate. He's a thug. He was a Tupac of the earth. He was the hit 'em up of the earth, man. Outlaws. And even when he brought that nature, he brought that behavior in America, doing what they call the Wild Wild West. Why did they call it the Wild Wild West? Because Esau was a wild boy. He was the gambler. He was the wine bibber. He was the one that was having those gun battles and gun draws and all those things, man. All right, shoot out at bars and stuff, man. Whose nature was that? It's Esau Edom, man. All right, he was a wild boy, man. But that's just something that was in my spirit. I hope this lesson was of quick edification. Once again, I would like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Kahakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Kwam Yashala, Shalom.